So what is happening here today?
So today is when we're having our International Women's Day March on the weekend just prior to the actual day. So women from all workplaces, of all races, and of all community groups, we're gathering today to make sure that people are aware that we do not live in an equal society, and it's time for us to organize and keep up the fight.
Is there a particular theme to this year's march and event?
Well, for us at the Alberta Federation of Labour, we want to take the opportunity this year to talk about the importance of the public sector and what that means to women, not only as a workforce that is primarily female, but also as a service that women depend on more than men because they still carry the burden of unpaid work. That's for us. But every group here has a different story, and what's so great about this march is that we all get together and we can find our commonality, and together we know that each issue is important, and if we're ever going to get to an equal society, everybody needs to tell their story.
And what do you hope will come out of today's event?
Well, I think it's about people noticing. We need to get this back on the agenda. It goes and it comes, but women's issues should always be on the agenda, so that's what we're going to do here. And I also think we're going to make some good friends and allies so that our ongoing work can be more robust and bigger in the community.
Great, thank you very much. So how do you think the event went today?
Oh, I think it was great. I think it really represented, it represented a sort of the moment we're at in terms of what women have achieved and accomplished, where you could really see that we have put the issue of the rights of women and the end to the oppression and exploitation of women on the agenda, and it can never be taken off now. Mm-hmm. You know, like we've achieved something really significant, and I think it also showed how women really are in the forefront of all of the struggles, not only for our own rights and our emancipation, but for the rights of all. Mm-hmm. And that which is represented in the slogan for our event, which is that women's dignity lies in the fight for the rights of all. So it really showed today, that we're not, that women really are playing a leading role, and what we do in the coming period is so important.
So where do we go from here?
Okay, well, if we think about some of the things that were raised in the speeches, in Alberta we achieved something, it's very important, which was the defeat of 43 years of PC rule, and that was a result. And women were very, very important in that, of people standing up and saying no to the austerity agenda. No to the dictate of the biggest monopolies, who have a stranglehold and still have a stranglehold over all the decision making in the society. And so we said no to that. So now what does it show? That So now we're at the point where we can see that we really need to have renewal of the whole democratic process, because we threw out that old government, but those old forces, they're still exerting all that pressure on the society. So you have, the monopoly media every single day. All those forces keep on demanding an austerity agenda, which is basically an attack on the rights of women. They are demanding an attack on social programs and public services, which are not only mainly delivered by women, but when they're withdrawn from the society, it's the women who have to take up the slack, who are being forced to fend for themselves. So it really shows that we have to solve the problem of who decides in the society. And the question of who decides is a question of democratic renewal. It's not just a matter of how the votes are counted, but how the political system operates, so that we can really choose our representatives, and then they are actually responsible to us. And so it means involving the whole society in the decision-making process, and that's the work that lies ahead for us as women.